All right, over to you, Casey.
All right, this is Casey. So the slide says at the top, creating access together, which is what we're always aiming for. First and foremost, as Rami said, we are recording this event and posting it later on. So feel free to do what you need to do to feel comfortable with that as you're attending tonight. Please also stay on mute to minimize background noise. If we mute you, no hard feelings. Just trying to make sure that everyone can observe in the way that's best for them. Please also wait until someone is done talking for yourself to speak, and state your name when you start speaking so that we can capture that in the transcript, and our interpreters can also capture that. Tonight, we're not going to be using chat very much. There will be some opportunities, and if you'd like to send questions directly to myself or to Rami, we can read them off that way. We will break if access stops. So again, we have Rami here. He's our tech DJ tonight. Please message him if there's any access needs, and we will do what we need to do to make sure that we can continue on together. We also have captioning available tonight, live captioning. If you would like to turn that on, you can click the CC symbol down in your Zoom block. And this is a reminder to me as much as everyone else, please be mindful of our interpreters to speak clearly and state your name prior to speaking. And finally, if you would like to come off mute at any time during the discussion to ask a question or voice your thoughts, if you could also have your video turned on for anyone who relies on lip reading for communications, that would be awesome. All right, so we're going to leave a couple second pause here, a couple minute pause to see if anyone has any access issues or accommodations that they need to request before we get started. I'm going to watch chat, and you can also come off mute if you need to. Okay. If Rami, you can go to the next slide. DDP is in the process of developing our first land and labor acknowledgement. And we are open for feedback on this, and Rami will drop that in the chat. So as I read it, if anything comes to mind or you'd like to learn more, you can let us know. Just gonna, there we go. All right. So our land and labor acknowledgement now reads, and this is the abbreviated version. Detroit Disability Power occupies the ancestral lands of the Odawa, Ojibwe, Wyandot, and the Potawatomi nations. We acknowledge the city of Detroit would not be the reflection of radical resistance it is today without the contributions of Black people, past, present, and future. We honor the legacy of the African diaspora and Black life, knowledge, and skills stolen due to the violence and white supremacy. We embrace disability justice and our guiding principles, nothing about us without us. And again, if you'd like to give feedback or ask any questions on that as we're developing it, there is Rami's email is dropped in the chat, and there's also a link to learn more about that resource if you'd like to do something similar in your work. All right, we're going to stop sharing screen and officially get started tonight. Like I said, my name is Casey. I'm the policy analyst at DDP. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. We're excited to have our second year of reflective photography workshops and be presenting our final pieces today with you. Reflective photography is also known as photo voice, and it's a guided process where participants use photos to capture parts of their experiences and reflect and express their thoughts about them to others in a creative way. It can be used to explore or reflect on any topic. It can provide community education or advocate for policy change. And last year, our members shared experiences about the various visible and invisible aspects of having disabilities. And this year, our members chose to celebrate Disability Pride together. So even though it's already August somehow, and Disability Pride Month is officially the month of June, we're running on Crip time and celebrating August as well. So before I pass things over to Rowan and Heather, I want to just quickly give a rundown of our loose agenda. Oh, I see Marguerite's got a hand up. Go ahead, Marguerite.
No, down, please.
This is Casey. Thank you for asking for your needs to be met and reminding me to slow down. if any of you have done presentations and stuff, we were just talking about this beforehand. We all get those jitters and then we tend to go faster. So I appreciate you, Marguerite, for asking for that. Okay, so on to tonight's loose agenda. So in a second, Rowan and Heather will kick us off by sharing a couple of collaborative group pieces that we formed together. And then we'll move into the individual piece presentation for tonight. And finally, we'll move into a group reflection. And we'll start that off primarily with discussion amongst the folks who are presenting tonight, but we also would like to open it up for you all to discuss your thoughts as well. We don't have a formal Q&A session, but if you do have questions, like I said, feel free to message them in the chat. All right, I'm going to pause for just a second for any other questions or access issues. Okay, and I'm going to pass it over to Rowan and Heather.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me all right? Okay, this is Rowan. I'm a member of Detroit Disability Power, and I use they, them pronouns. So as Casey, oh, Heather, do you want to introduce yourself?
Do you want to give your visual description?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you, Heather. This is Rowan. So my visual description is that I'm in my late 20s. I have light peach colored skin with yellow undertone. I have short, dark brown hair and facial hair. I'm wearing a burgundy t-shirt and I'm sitting on my bed against a white wooden headboard with a blue wall behind me.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Heather. I'm a member of Detroit Disability Power. I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman. I have shoulder length strawberry blonde hair. I'm wearing a purple tank top and I'm in my bed with some paintings behind me leaning against my pillows. Thank you everyone for coming.
So as Casey mentioned, we chose the theme of disability pride for our workshop series. Before we met together for the first workshop, we opted to take photos and reflect on our experiences of disability pride. During the first few weeks, we struggled to name the difficulty of taking photos of our experiences and how they related to disability and pride. What does disability pride look like in our day-to-day experiences?
This is Heather. Before we start showing you what we've been working on, we invite those of you who identify as disabled and or as a caregiver to join us in this discovery practice or this discovery experience by taking a moment to jot down a note that reads, "To me, disability pride means," and fill in the first few things that come to mind. So, to me, disability pride means. Okay. Hold on to your notes, everyone. As we share our pieces tonight, both group and individual, we celebrate ourselves and our community. Disability pride is about life, and life is complex and multifaceted, the good and the bad and the awkward. Now on to our first group piece. This first piece is a collage of our group's service, emotional support, and supportive animals, including various cats and dog photos. Earlier in our workshop series, we all connected by talking about how proud we are to have such wonderful, supportive pets and service dogs.
So now on to our second piece together. We could not decide on just one of these collages. We went with both of these collages that we had made together. On the left side of the screen, we have our superhero kind of Power Rangers comic strip going on. It says United in Pride, Diverse in Vision, with a collage of vertically cropped photos of our faces pasted next to one another, filtered with different colors. The photos are also filtered to look like drawn comics, and it has a mix of 6 diverse faces featured. To the right, we have our Disability Pride Flag collage. This one takes diagonal crops of our faces and places them within a Disability Pride flag. So each layer of the flag is a stripe. A gray flag with red, yellow, white, blue, and green diagonal stripes. These gray fields represent our anger, grief, and protest for those of us that endure ableist violence. The 5 color stripes represent diverse disability experiences within our community. Invisible, undiagnosed, physical, sensory disabilities, you name it, we are stronger together. The parallel stripes show solidarity within our disability communities. Finally, the diagonal design exemplifies the cutting across barriers that exist to separate and oppress disabled people. We are our own light cutting through the darkness.
This is Heather. We are disabled and we are proud. Now let's show you all what we mean. Our first presenter tonight is Marguerite, who will introduce herself now before I present her pieces per her request. Marguerite.
Hello, everyone. I am Marguerite. Scarlett is my sister, Mara. I am an African American and American Indian descent. I am 65 years old. I am in my living room / dining room / office area. I am wearing a white t-shirt with my name and in it. And disability pride means to me to speak out when you see something wrong. Speak up. That's it. Thank you.
This is Heather. This photo is a masked person wearing a bright orange vest and using a walker, standing next to a harnessed service dog, a yellow lab. They stand in front of a brick firehouse building with large red doors. Voting at the firehouse. My voting location is the firehouse. Staff of the firehouse has to let you use the red door. So many people use the side door. People who use power chairs or other mobility devices cannot use the side doors because of a step and narrow doorway. So there's no way for us to get in. You have to find a way to ask them to be let in to vote. This is sometimes the case when I and others have to deal with every time I go and vote. Been trying to get the city to change the voting place to a suitable location. Why should we stand outside the firehouse to be let in to vote? It's too long for us with mobility devices, and once let in to vote, the ADA machine is never set up and or ready to use. Last time I voted, it took 1 to 2 hours to get someone to work the ADA voting machine up and running. Every time I voted since 1985. Marguerite and Scarlett.
May I,
Go ahead, Margaret.
may I add something to it?
Yes, we'd love to hear it.
Okay. Yesterday, when I went to vote, they had the ADA machine up. But it took them 20 to 30 minutes to get it working. But I stayed there and BOTED. So it took them another extra 30 minutes.
Marguerite, this is Janet, the interpreter. I would like to clarify that you're saying that the ADA machine was working, but it took about 30 minutes, but you were able to vote. Is that correct? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Casey. Thank you, Marguerite, for sharing that. And it's so discouraging, especially after just reading that you've been voting at that location since 1985, and very few, if any, times has there not been an access issue, which we'll see in these next couple pieces. And I'll hand it back over to Heather.
Awesome. This is Heather. This image is a masked person sitting in front of a voting machine with a walker off to the right. After hours of waiting, I voted. They may try to keep us out, but we find a way for ourselves. I'm proud to sit up for my voting rights and cast my ballot each election. I'm proud to vote for candidates who are interested in building a future with us all. Marguerite and Scarlett. This image is a streetscape with a group of people marching towards the viewer at a distance. Several of the frontline marchers are wheelchair users. A stoplight stands above with a sign that reads Congress Street. Congress. Demonstration on behalf of Black Lives Matter and people with disabilities. Look at this group of marchers, wheelchair users, front and center, leadership of the most impacted. We roll, march, zoom in from bed, and ride together with pride. We are powerful. We are powerful together. The street sign above reads, Congress, an omen for the future we are building. Marguerite and Scarlett.
This is Casey. Our next presenter is Patricia. So we're just gonna spend a little bit rearranging our screen here. And thank you so much to Marguerite and for you, Heather, for voicing that. All right.
This is Janet, the interpreter. Can you, I don't see my team interpreter anywhere on the screen.
This is Casey. Kayla, the other interpreter, is currently off camera, and now they're on.
I see her now. She had moved around. Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm called Patricia, another member of Detroit Disability Power. I use any or all pronouns. I'm an older white person with a light blue stripe in my chin-length gray hair, gender neutral, but presenting as vaguely female. I am wearing a black t-shirt with a rainbow wheelchair that you can't see and the words "Celebrate Differences." My Zoom background is the new Disability Pride flag. The first piece is called Self-Care Sonnet. Dozens of transparent colored plastic pill organizer compartments are sorted in rows by color. The rainbow ranges from red at the top left corner to purple in the bottom right. Each compartment is filled with white and golden pills, translucent gels, capsules, and lozenges glowing in the light. These are my morning pills. I pack them up for 2 months at a time because I just can't do this more often. This cup holds water to wash them down. And I chant while loading each compartment so I know where I am in the process. Don't lose track. I should say, these are some of my pills, though there are more at night, meds to drink, and packed in my bag extras in case I forget. Pills and pill cases glow in the sunlight, whispering reminders. It's a duet, me and my memory dancing in a bright orbit of what all needs to be done, paced within the tight limits of what can be faced. Mutual aid. On a double-wide sidewalk by a street, bright sunlight outlines 2 crisp shadows of humans holding hands. Neither one of us is flying too close to the sun, neither one of us falling. We hold on one to the other. We chose hugs and hands, stable, instead of stalling out mid-flight, broken wings angled off spine. Stumble, shake, then steady. We make a sling with our arms to carry our hopes. Supine, we take turns resting, we take turns holding each other up. The broken translate from murmurations to a roar of shadows and flapping hands, gestures like bird wings. Come, we say, trailing feathers, sheets, threads. We chose this binding, which is a promise of yes, I'll try, fitting our aid to what blesses. Disability Budo, a sling seat cane gripped at the top by a white-skinned hand. The perspective is from the point of view of the cane user, tightly focused on the top of the cane and the hand. The rest of the cane blurs into the distance and the ground, where the lines of the cane meet the lines of the legs of the cane user, black with rainbow shoes. 4 legs and a lump, a bump, thump. Rhythm of saying, you better see me, this thing is hard metal. Meditating on the fine art of stick combat, designed for canes as weapons. I'm pondering what I'd do with my round-topped steel stool stand cane, designing kata in my brain. I wear my pride. A panoramic photo of t-shirts hanging on a wire fence. There are 2 rows of t-shirts overlapping. The bottom row is mostly neutral colors, black, gray, navy, centered around a rainbow spiral tee with the words Crip Camp. The upper row is a spectrum of colors, with the center hanger being empty. Most shirts focus on disability pride, some on a particular disability, while others represent common issues or solutions for people with disabilities or connect to disability experiences of the photographer. I wear my pride, all the colors of pride. I sing the praises of my life. Lifetime Achievement Award for breathing. You get it? I've got help. I've got you. I've got you, babe, here in my life, helping me live. We've got us. We've got all of us here, dancing with the Grateful Dead and shouting, celebrate, saying celebrate differences while we're killing monsters, setting healthy boundaries, saying no, and sometimes saying yes, please. I wear my pride. I say it loud. I say, this is what a disabled person looks like. I say, I'm a spoonie, a long hauler, neurodiverse. I'm a survivor, still fighting, feisty. I'm going to change the world. I make health. I get to say what health is. I'm broken, and that's okay. You get it? Because okay is at the heart of what's broken. And self-preservation is not self-indulgence. It's making war on those who don't recognize my gifts, my strength, my ferocity, my awesomeness. I wear my pride. Just say it. Say disabled. Say, I stand with those who stand with me. Just say ADA. Say Crip Camp. I can erase the words others tried to write over me, over my name, and then then us. We write our names, new names, our chosen names. We remake, renew. We've got help. We've got us. Say disabled. Say justice. Wear pride.
This is Casey. Thank you so much, Patricia. I think I'm gonna have to read over these so many more times and look at them so many more times to fully capture everything that is being communicated here, but it's so lovely. Thank you so much. I saw lots of hearts and clapping from my living room from Rami, and Dessa says, wow. And I am going to now welcome Heather back, and we'll get to talk to all of you again shortly.
This is Heather. This is a photo of a river. There is the reflection of sunlight in the river with surrounding trees with green and brown leaves and branches. The river. I'm experiencing pain in my right hip and it radiates down my leg. Yet the day is beautiful and I want to experience it. How many steps can I walk today? I choose to drive 5 minutes to a city park with a short bridge over a river. 5-minute drive, 25 steps of walking. I stare at the river. The reflection of sunlight in the river changes depending on the time of day, and the surrounding vegetation is always transforming. I am grateful to have a place so close to home that I know will result in a smile upon visiting. Many records leaning against each other in many stacks. the frontmost record reads, Earth, Wind, and Fire with the Emotions. Boogie Wonderland, the name of the song, is in the center in 3D letters. The backdrop of the record is geometric with all colors of the rainbow. Music transforms me. If you were to ask me what it's like to have a disability, I would respond, it is like earth, wind, and fire and the emotions. I make another 5-minute drive to my musician friend's music studio. Because of my chronic pain, all I can do is lie down, so I turn to music. I rest in the studio with my heating pad under me and pillow below my knees. I am transported by the music. I am lying on a couch, smiling, with an orange kitten cradled in my arms. I am wearing a goldish black dress. Snuggle time. I find comfort in my body in the form of kitten snuggles. This is a bright pink bee balm flower with green leaves in the background. Sensations in the backyard. I explore, despite my body's discomforts. Sensations are never far from home. The beauty relaxes me.
This is Casey. Thank you to you, Heather, again. And next we'll bring on Kenya.
Okay. Hi, thanks for coming. My name is Kenya Harper. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a 50-year young African-American female with a different ability. I am wheelchair bound. I have dark long hair with Nubian locks. I'm wearing a green summer dress with small round earrings. I'm in my living room wall. Well, behind me is my living room wall. It has little squares, openings that have candles and plants displayed. The power of inclusion. The images describe a close-up of an African-American woman's face wearing a slightly proud expression. She wears a white head wrap looking off in the distance. Blue skies and bright trees fill the frame behind her. The other image description, a group of African-American people standing together doing an outdoor summer event with their backs to the camera. There is a lake in the background and green grass, blue skies, and trees frame the scene. Being a part of community events promotes inclusion. Inclusion creates unity mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for all involved. It's an expression of love and connection. Never underestimate the power of inclusion. Watch the noise in prison. A smiling African-American woman with her hair locks pulled up, holding up a hand-painted pillow with an African-American woman pictured on it. The woman holds the pillow at a craft table in the background. In the backyard, wearing an apron. It's a sunny day and there are ceremonial balloons in the background. The other image is of 5 family members with the African-American woman gathering in front of a colorful pink and blue metallic tassel wall, taking a group photo. One woman is sitting in her wheelchair, and the others have big smiles and colorful clothes on. Love and family. Celebrating milestones with family and friends is an expression of love. Loving and supporting each other through the ups and downs is a blessing and good for the soul. By Kenya Harper. A smiling African-American woman holding her arms outside her wheelchair. She wears Black warm clothes and is sitting under an archway of fall flowers. The other image is a smiling African-American woman wearing a gray sweatshirt in front of a brick house. Living life out loud. A beautiful smile is one of the many joys of life. Living life out loud in balance means it's not about what I can do, what I can't do, but what I can do. By Kenya Harper.
This is Casey. Thank you so much, Kenya. Every time I see these slides, they're so colorful and happy. And I know you just say disability pride is living out loud. And yes, we see it in these photos for sure. Thank you so much. And our last presenter for tonight, we're welcoming Rowan back on, and then we'll get to talk with everyone. So Rowan, take it away.
Thank you. This is Rowan again. And again, I use they, them pronouns. This piece is called Nothing But Blue Skies from Now On. The image is a large clock shown from below at an upward diagonal angle. Some of the numbers on the clock are inverted and some are not, perplexingly. I don't know how that happened. The bottom left-hand corner of the clock face is obscured by a reflection of the bright blue, lightly clouded sky through a window from a nearby wall. Time is elusive. More importantly, the sky looks like home. The clock is pictured at what to me is a dizzying angle, hanging over my head and keeping its own counsel while I struggle to keep up with it. I find it difficult to keep up with certain cultural expectations surrounding time. Taking hours to peruse a small art collection, taking my sweet time to behold each and carry each in my heart. Canceling brunch again because that's not happening today unless we are hosting it in my bed. I was going to be on time today, but I thought I could reorganize my closet first because I was running 2 minutes ahead of schedule. Showering takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 3 hours, if I can manage it at all. Eating a meal takes 2 minutes to, was I even able to finish a meal today? To hell with the clock anyhow, I am ready to embrace my own pace, cherish it even. From now on, I am running in Crip time.
This is Casey. Just spotlighting myself. Thank you so much, Rowan. If we could have all of our folks spotlit so we can see everyone, and in whatever way you would like to give affirmation, whether it's silent claps, coming off mute, giving claps, giving affirmation in the chat. Just a big thank you, and show our presenters some love for coming tonight and sharing all of these insights and reflections and celebrations and struggles. All of that complexity is welcome and appreciated here. I see in the chat, Dustin says, woohoo, so good. And Ava said that was great. All right, I still see some folks popping up on my screen. Let's make sure we've got everyone. This is Casey. All right, I believe I do. Laura says, glorious. Thank you for the moving art. Many tears over here. And Rami says, that was truly amazing, y'all. Well, the good news is that the amazingness is not over. We've just scratched the surface. And I just want to take a quick second to say that you all are absolutely amazing. And it's been such a genuine pleasure to journey through this creative process together for the past few months. I know I've learned so much from all of you and with all of you, and I so appreciate the supportive environment that we created together over that time. And I would also like to thank and introduce Gwyneth, who we haven't met yet tonight, who is my co-facilitator this year, and who will kick off the reflection discussion. So over to you, Gwyneth.
Thank you, Casey. This is Gwyneth, and thank you all. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm really humbled and excited to be a part of this. I'm the co-facilitator for this workshop series and a member of Detroit Disability Power. I am I was looking for myself so I could give you a visual description, and my box moved. I am a middle-aged white woman with orange hair and a blue sweater. And I have a living room setting behind me. This evening, we've observed some amazing, creative, reflective work. These images and narratives were crafted over weeks of time. And as we've come together and reflected on our experiences with disability in so many forms, we've only yet scratched the surface on what disability pride means to us. So let's keep talking about it and discovering together. We don't have a canned set of questions lined up, but let's get rolling with this one. To our presenters. Thinking about the past few months during our workshop, what was the process of capturing what disability pride means to you in your pieces shown tonight?
This is
I-
Patricia. When we started out, I had a lot of trouble thinking about the images as being a source of pride. And I was going, oh, I thought this was going to be easier. And I think we all helped support each other in looking at an image or looking at an experience and then pivoting it so that we could see it as a source of pride. And we got on a roll after a while, which was very healing. And thank you to every person who has been part of this process. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Thank you, Patricia. This is Gwyneth. Thank you, Patricia. I feel this incredible sense of pride too, and wondering what made it difficult in the beginning, and what questions came up for you as you said at first. Things were hard to get rolling, and maybe how you resolved them. Rowan?
This is Rowan, and then I also think I saw Kenya come off mute for a second too. Okay, so this is Rowan. The process was also very difficult for myself because I had not very much pride, to be honest. It was difficult kind of to face, and I couldn't really think of anything that I would picture that would be disability pride for me. And I think I found through the process that doing this was an act of pride. So kind of going through, I decided to take things that I've had shame about, or that I have kept secret, or that otherwise were not necessarily things that occurred to me as sources of pride. And I took photos of them and wrote about what I thought. And that was a very empowering experience. I I have actually 3 other pieces that I wanted to show, but unfortunately or fortunately, they were very therapeutic pieces, I will say, and I just have too much to say about them to really present at this time. They are not digested, so stay tuned for that maybe at some point.
Go ahead, Kenya. This is Gwyneth. Go ahead, Kenya.
Hi, this is Kenya. I just want to say, oh my God, you guys did so amazing. I love everybody's photo and how everybody described it. You blew it off the water. I mean, I read it, but then when you guys presented it on your own, it was just so much more powerful. So I'm just so very amazingly proud of all of us. It wasn't, I'm gonna use a different word. It wasn't difficult, it was different. It definitely took me, this process took me, it made me have to do some really critical thinking and some really like searching, like how do I express disability pride through a picture without, even sometimes even describing the disability, but like, because some pictures you can't just see that the person might have a disability or not, but like just actually just going inside trying to describe it. So I just love the way everybody expressed themselves and how creative we all were in this process. And it was so moving. And we did an amazing job. So I'm so grateful to be invited to the process and to this project and to have shared this moment with everyone. So kudos to everyone. And stepping outside of our comfort zones and expressing ourselves on a totally different level that, like I said, like Roman said, we wouldn't even have thought about doing for ourselves. So I really, like I said, to disability pride to me is just being ourselves and being okay with that. So thank you.
This is Gwyneth. Thank you, Kenya. And I echo to 1,000,000%. So sometimes reflective photography has, as Casey mentioned in the beginning, a role in advocacy or activism. And I'm curious, the disability pride theme, where you see, if you see a role for that in this project and your participation in it. And this is a question for the participants who've presented, and perhaps something we could open up at some point to the audience as well.
This is Rowan. Could you repeat the question or put it in the chat?
This is Gwyneth. Thank you, Rowan. So my question was prefaced by restating what I heard Casey describe about reflective photography being used for activism. And so my question was, do you see a role for your disability pride theme and your work for this activism, and what might that be?
Well, I know Marguerite, I don't know if I can speak for you, Marguerite. I know in the chat, she said, for me is, it said, for me is doing the right thing when we all know we can do what is right.
And I am writing more in the chat box.
This is Casey. Perfect, Marguerite. I'll keep a lookout for that to come in and I can voice your chats if that works. It looks like Rowan has their hand up, and actually, I think the hand raising thing is working pretty well. So actually, if anyone, presenter and or audience member, if you want to queue up, if you have questions, comments, feel free to raise your hand and we can flow conversation that way.
This is Rowan. I don't know that I'm entirely answering your question with this, Gwyneth, but the first thing that comes to mind was what I was thinking when Marguerite's pieces came up, which is that it was just, I was really happy and like impressed and like inspired by how just intentional Marguerite's pieces were in like a political sense. They were all very direct, like it was pride, but it was also about like voting and organizing in like direct ways that people could see and then use. And so I don't know whether that was just what came up for you, Marguerite, or whether that was like a purposeful stance, but I was very happy about it and I appreciate it. Oh, I also see that Marguerite put in the chat box, and doing this project opened my mind, my eyes to do more. We all need to go forth in our lives for all the next generation can learn from all of us. Never too old to learn. Damn right.
This is Casey. I second and third and fourth the damn right to most things that Marguerite says, but especially that. This is Casey. I said I didn't have canned questions and I didn't, but in listening to you all kind of process out loud, Rowan, I was interested, you know, with you being transparent about not having all of your pieces like completed, right, or digested. And I love that like digested part. And I'm wondering for all of you, were there pieces that didn't show up tonight that you struggled with just because of that? Like, was things that you really were grappling with, like, how do I connect this to disability pride? What am I really trying to communicate here? Were there any ones like that that you'd like to share about?
This is Patricia, and I think that was kind of part of all of them, because when I started doing this, I was thinking disability pride. There's the pride flag, there's the rainbows. And okay, if it's disabled and has a rainbow, does that mean it's disability pride? So I started out with all of my pictures being rainbows. And then I realized they weren't really about pride. They were just about being disabled. And then I thought, but is that part of it? And so then it was looking at, it was the conversations with the group, and there were readings and there were things that we found on Facebook or Instagram or things other people said. And we realized that it's kind of like the autism community gets really cranky about the lighted up blue because it's about autism awareness. It's not about inclusion. It's not about equity. It's not even about acceptance. I mean, low bar. It's just, hello, it exists. And it's all stuff that's funneling money, not to the disabled community, but to other communities. And so I started thinking about how what we do for ourselves, we should be proud of being able to take care of ourselves for anything we do that helps us navigate this world and the way in which we lift each other up. Mutual aid, which is such an enormous part of disability culture and disability justice, and the way the disability community as a whole lifts up each other and celebrates each other and accepts each other and make a space where everyone has time to talk and people respect them and listen. And I thought, I am so proud of the disability community. Oh my God, so proud.
This, Gwyneth, is so powerful, and I'm feeling the power and feeling the love. And I wanted to circle back to Heather, your prompt in the beginning. If you don't mind repeating what you asked, or yes, of the audience, that would be great. And people can reflect on what they see disability pride as, and perhaps wonder if they've changed it at all over the course of our session.
This is Heather. The prompt was, to me, disability pride means.
This is Casey. Gwyneth, I'm not sure if you saw, we've got Kenya and Rowan, I think, still want to respond to maybe the question about the process of writing their narratives and such. But it's good. I think it's still good because if you did have a note, or maybe if you didn't take one, now's your opportunity to get something juicy in the chat, or get something out, a start. What does disability pride mean to everyone here in the space after hearing, after thinking? Yeah, and I'm going to hand it back to Kenya and Rowan, and then we can start reading what's in the chat.
Well, this is Kenya. Well, for me, my piece was about living out loud. I had so many pictures that I wanted to use because I love taking pictures. But I couldn't use all of them, so I didn't really narrow it down. And when I say disability pride means living life out loud, to me, when I take pictures, that's what I'm doing. I'm showing how I'm living my life out loud. I remember when I first got on disability and my ability changed, got a little more limited, where I couldn't really get around as much. And I was just stuck in the house. I mean, I was really depressed and really just felt like, is this it? Is this what my life's about, being in this room with these four walls and only being able to go out if family friends want to, you know, carve some time out of their life to help me do things. So when I was able to, you know, actually even get a wheelchair, it freed my life up because it gave me mobility. And then when I met a friend that had a handicapped car, I was like, oh my God, they make handicapped cars with ramps. I can get in the car and drive, you know, like I do so much stuff now. I kind of just do whatever I want to do. Anything I can think of, I do it. So that's where I take a lot of pictures of. And so that's living out loud, is just, that's me being myself, regardless of what's happening with my ability. Because every couple years, it might get a little more limited. So I'm like, every day I wake up is the only day that matters is when I get up. Yesterday was the past, the future haven't got here. So living out loud in that moment is so important, has been important to my life. And me being me, many people tell me how it makes them feel better about themselves and what they feel like they might complain about. And they're like, look at Kenya, she's whatever, you know? And I never thought I would affect people like that because I'm just being myself. But it took me a long time to get to just being okay with, it don't matter. I'm coming to that party and I'm gonna dance in my chair, you know, I'm going to the movies, I'm going to dinner, I'm going to the Riverwalk, I'm going to the march, I'm going to the movies. I'm gonna do everything that I wanna do that I can do. So it's not about what I can't do, but it's like, what can you do? And that's life. You know, even people that we think don't have disabilities have something that they feel holds them or limits them. And we all just adapt. We are learning how to just adapt to different situations that are happening in our life. Okay, I'm talking a lot, but I mean, that's what Disability Pride means to me, and what this project has, you know, gave me an opportunity to really reflect and be able to share that, and I really appreciate it.
This is Rowan. I'm gonna be honest. Really just got into what you were saying, Kenya. So I'm gonna try to remember what I wanted to say, but like you probably said it. Definitely agree. I guess what was the last question? I honestly don't know what I was about to say. I'm gonna try for like 10 seconds, and if not, oh well.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. I'm happy about it.
This is Casey. If it helps, Rowan, I think maybe you were rounding back out to describing your experience and selecting the photos and like struggling to come up with a narrative that was fully digested, because maybe that doesn't exist.
Maybe it doesn't. I feel like I digested the clock, you know? That was my one where I was like, that's my feeling. I'm done. That's it. Cool. I really wanted to do another one that was like a surreal kind of photo of like a bathroom floor / me laying on a bathroom floor. And I tried to write a narrative, which is like a paragraph. And instead I ended up with like 8 pages, and I don't think I'm done. So that I asked my husband, Rodney, to help me edit it yesterday. And we both looked at it and we're just kind of like, maybe it's just not done. And that's okay. So I don't know if I had anything else to say on that one, but I also wanted to go back to what Gwyneth had asked about like politics and like activism, and say that I think that this workshop is like a form of activism, because I think that one of the primary things we need to do as a community is build each other up, and make sure that we understand our own worth and each other's worth, and make sure that we're here for each other. And I think that that's kind of one of the first steps is kind of helping each other identify that. So I'm hoping that in doing this, I feel like I'm building myself up and like my own confidence. And I'm hoping that that does the same for other people and gets people thinking about what this means to them. And I think that that is part of activism. And I just wanted to say, you know, thank you all for showing up, and y'all did an amazing job. And Patricia also, again, loved the poem, the t-shirt one. I don't know what to call it, but great job.
This is Casey. I'm loving all of the affirmation between all of you and just in the room. It feels really good. Uplifting what Marguerite said in chat. She says, with people with disabilities, with cerebral palsy, with speech and hearing loss, all my life, society has no right to tell us, all people with disabilities, that we can't do or what we can't do. Knowledge is power. Power is knowledge. What we do with it can be powerful together. Yes, yes, that knowledge is power and power is knowledge. And that knowledge is so much to do with like knowledge about ourselves and our own experience. And it's such a pleasure to be a part of this process. And like this year, I kind of like, I didn't peek at a lot of your narratives beforehand so that I could get like a more audience feel perspective in this, and really feel the punch of the power. Because sometimes, you know, this process for all of you who are here tonight, we met for 5-6 weeks, right? And that might sound like a long time, but, you know, we came up with what we had tonight, and it's like a launching pad, you know, like, you know, Rowan saying he's still digesting. I'm seeing a lot of other hints at the rest of us digesting. And yeah, it's an ongoing process and one that we can do together, which is really, really cool. Looking at some other things that floated up in chat. Laura says, to me, disability pride is about affirming disability. It's about more than accommodation or inclusion. Those things are important, but pride is something a lot more deeper. Yeah, getting at that root that's going to contribute to those other things, the accommodations and inclusion. We've got some affirmations for Kenya. Elaine says non-disabled people are just not yet disabled and or were disabled in the past. And Heather says, to me, disability pride means self and community care. I'm just checking. I've got quite a few messages. I don't want to miss any. Elaine says, feels like we're doing a group hug. Yes, I love it. And Marguerite says, and use all the ADA and 504 laws for our benefits and children with disabilities. Yes. And Tab, Patricia says, temporarily able-bodied. Yes, agree to all of that. Okay, it is 7:40. We're slated to go until around 8 tonight, but really, like, I just want some back and forth conversation. And I say I because, like, I'm just eating all of this up. One final thing I wanted to say to what Kenya was saying, the what can I do, right? Like, and I just want to say that that's not even the full sentence. When I hear you say that, it's like, what can I do in a place that like is built so that I can't do this? You know, like it's so much more than that. And that perseverance and that mutual aid that Patricia's talking about, it's also integral. And yeah, I'm just feeling the love. But I am going to open up the floor. It looks like Marguerite's going to start us off here in a little bit. But I would invite anyone who's here tonight to come off mute or put in chat any questions or reactions, affirmations, whatever you have to offer. And Marguerite will start with your comments.
Thank you. No, sometimes society do not believe that that our words or our opinion can make a difference in this world. And sometimes we have to keep pushing diverse push push until something happens. And I been using that word almost 20 years. Push until something happens. Because if you don't push through it, how in the world are we going to be able to make sure that the next generation can FOLLOW us and have their own agenda if they do not set an example. FORTHEM. And we and I would close it out with this. Peace, love, and hope. Hope is THEFUTURE. Those I have to say thank you, and thank you. Peace, love, and hope.
This is Casey. Thank you, Marguerite. I love your motto and your sign off every single time. And I need it. I really need it. Like a reminder anytime, like peace, love, and hope, and centering in that with our people. I'm just reading, Patricia says in chat, what a powerhouse. Peace, love, and hope. And we've got lots of hearts lighting up around on our Zoom tiles. Thank you so much, Marguerite. Any reactions from folks who were not a part of this process, who are maybe digesting or processing a little bit of their own?
You talking about any of our guests?
This is Casey. Yes, we've got some lively guests in the chat, maybe not so much on camera and off mute. That's okay too. If you want to drop any comments or reactions in the chat. I see we've got Dessa.
Hey y'all, it's Dessa. You know what I was reflecting on as I was listening and watching tonight is how I just so appreciate the different ways that we describe our experiences. I get so focused on the way I experience my life, you know, as a wheelchair user, as a little person, as an organizer. And I mean, it's so refreshing to hear some different perspectives of a fairly shared experience. It makes me feel, I don't know, so enriched to know that our folks are having these really beautiful critically thinking thoughts, you know. It's just and healing thoughts, just realizing that we're all kind of going through a healing process together as as you all are sharing with us. It's healing all of us, actually. I just so appreciate that.
Thank you, Dessa. This is Casey, and I see we've got Lene.
Hi, thank you. I'm off camera simply because I'm driving. And I'm speaking into my headset. But first I wanna thank Kenya for inviting me. She is definitely one of the people who really inspire me in life. And as she said earlier, so many people in our circle, because Kenya seems to live a fuller life, and since I've known her, a fuller life than any person that I know, including myself, who are considered like fully able-bodied. Interestingly, I've looked up to her for so long, and interestingly, being a person born with a disability, but being able to mask it, though it's a great struggle for me, being able to mask it and being able to live a life that looks like everyone else's, or quote unquote normal person. When I think of disability, I think of a person who is physically disabled, and I never tend to align myself with the word disabled or disability, which is really interesting to every.
This is Casey. Lene, your connection is a little spotty. Could you restate that?
Notices that we have a disability or not, or notices our limitations. It's interesting to me how I started off watching these presentations this evening and thinking and even feeling like I am listening to presentations from and by people who have disabilities, and did not even include myself in that, knowing that I've been born with a disability, and that I've really struggled with all of my life. So it was really inspiring today to just be able to witness those who have accepted where they are and have gained a sense of pride in who they are and where they are, and in just being their selves. Because in my frame of mind, thinking
This is Casey. Lene, we lost your audio. Can you hear us? This is Casey. Okay, I just saw Lene mute. Lene, if you're able to use chat, well, you said you're driving, don't use chat. If your connection seems strong, definitely we welcome you back on to finish that your thoughts there. Real quick, just looking at chat, Patricia, it sounds like was empathizing there. I was masking for a long time. I think that's a really important point to raise. Thank you to Lene. Emily says that they have to go, but appreciate all of the sharing and thoughts and art. And Rami says, love this point, Lene. Relatedly, I love the ways our artists made the invisible parts of our disabilities visible through these words and photos. And I like that callback to last year's theme. Okay, and Lene says, sorry, I pulled over to comment. I'm having tech issues while driving. Thank you for letting me share. Patricia says, good point, Rami. I've had similar experiences. Many of us have disabilities, but feel like it's not okay or safe for us to identify as disabled. And real quick, before I pass it over to Megan, just something that I actually was reading in an article that I jotted down as my kind of definition for today of what disability pride means to me, that I hear echoed in some of these sentiments, is that a social worker named Megan Brody was writing about this. And one of the things that she said was, I've been thinking a lot lately about how much energy I've expended over the past 30 years hiding myself. And that just, I mean, my voice is getting emotional, I apologize, but that just hits me really, really close to home of like, disability pride is like not hiding and like being out, being yourself, being out loud, living out loud, like Kenya says. I'm just loving all of this synchronicity. Yeah. All right, Megan, you're up.
Are you?
Can you hear me?
This is Casey. Yes, Megan, we can. And Elaine, we'll push back a little bit. No worries.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So I was part of the this group last year, and I enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed seeing everyone's tonight. You all did such a great job, and I really think you just captured what disability pride means, and I think it means like being okay with your disability and who you.
This is Casey. Megan, how's your connection now?
It might be better. I'm sorry. I'm on the train, so I guess it went out. But I enjoyed the group last year. Great job to everyone. I really enjoyed it. And just wanted to say that I think disability pride means being okay with your disability and who you are. And I just think everyone did a great job. And this kind of thing is activism and advocacy, because it's sharing our experiences with others.
This is Casey. Thank you so much, Megan. And that feels like an amazing bookend too, for you to share from last year and showing up this year, and just lots of love and connectivity, which we love to see.
One more thing I'd like to say, and sometimes it's not like, what can I do, but what do I want to do, and then how do I do it? I have been experiencing that.
This is Casey. Megan, we heard I've been experiencing, and then your audio went out.
A lot with
We can hear you now. Thank you so much, Megan. It is 7:59. We're gonna go over a couple minutes. If you have to go, that's okay. But just a huge thank you to all of our presenters and all of you for zooming in tonight to celebrate Disability Pride together. Our question for you is, how will you celebrate Disability Pride for the rest of this month, even unofficially? And if you're not sure yet, we have a few ideas to get you started that we will drop in the chat. The first is that DDP will be celebrating Disability Pride Southeast Michigan at Eastern Market. That's going to be on Tuesday, August 23rd. You're all welcome to come, and we'll actually have pieces printed and on display there as well. So you can stop by and say hi and check that event out on Facebook, and that link is in the chat. Second, we also have an upcoming organizing workshop series, a set of 3. You can come to one or all, but all of those links to sign up are in the chat as well. And those are going to be looking at using your story for social change, accessible movements, and dialogue with experienced grassroots organizers. And then finally, you can celebrate by supporting the disability community today or any day by visiting our website. And we have a list of aligned partner organization call to actions that you can do. Most of them are like sending a letter or doing a phone call. And with all of that said, I'm actually going to introduce Elaine Kolb for an impromptu performance and let her introduce herself. Welcome, Elaine, one of our DDP members who will lead us in this song. And after that, if presenters could stay on to do a quick debrief, but everyone else, thank you again for coming and sharing in the love tonight. And we'll send all of this information in an email after we follow up, as well as the recording. So thank you all again, and we'll highlight Elaine. And we're ready to celebrate with song on the way out.
Okay, woohoo! Well, okay, I'm Elaine Kolb. I'm a fat, old, ruddy white dyke sitting in a 6-wheeled power wheelchair flying a rainbow flag. I'm in my living room. It's cluttered. I'm white. I have short gray hair. I'm wearing reading glasses because you gotta do that sometimes. And I acquired my physical disability in 1977. Before that, I was just weird. And I was, and still am. But anyway, acquired my physical disability in 77, and I like to refer to it as a backhanded blessing because it made it possible for me to become the person that I am. And I'm getting to like me better and better these days. I didn't used to. I used to be really mean to myself, but self-love is important. And pride is important. And I wanted to sing this for you because it's so essential. I had the great honor of being able to go to Australia on a Fulbright scholarship as part of the United Nations International Year of Disabled Persons. And I had never been in a demonstration, a rally, a march of people with disabilities and our families and friends and allies. I had never experienced that until I was in Sydney, Australia, and I got to be part of this march. And they estimated it was like maybe 2,000 people. It was like, wow. Wow. I mean, I had been involved in other marches. I was anti-war and civil rights and women's stuff and lesbian LGBTQIA before they called it that. But disability? And I was so proud. And I knew that we had to grab a hold of that. So this song was written on December 9th, 1980, which I realize is before some of you were born. But anyway, still, disability and pride. It's called Dignity and Pride. We're no longer grateful for the scraps that you have thrown us. We're no longer begging you, holding out a cup. We're no longer satisfied inside your institutions. Together we are moving out and moving up. Oh, yes, we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. Find ourselves together and we find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand? Everyone is special. Life is not worth living without dignity and pride. You know that's the truth, right? Well, it used to be the policy to let us die or kill us. Then it became somehow humane to lock us all away. Times have changed. We have changed. Now we won't accept it. Our lives are just too precious, and we are here to stay. Because we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We find our strength together. We find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand? Everyone is special. Life is not worth living without dignity and pride. Now here's the message to all those folks who don't quite get it yet. Well, now some of you think some of us really aren't quite human. That's how you try to justify the cruel things you do. Well, there's no way you can stop us. We will love our way to freedom. That bears repetition. There is no way you can stop us. We will love our way to freedom. It's a lifelong living struggle, and somehow we'll make it through. And if together we can really do that. You know why? Because we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We find our strength together and we find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand that everyone is special? And life is not worth living without dignity and pride. You know you want to do the chorus with me. I know it will mess up the sound, but who cares? Because we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We find ourselves together and we find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand? Everyone is special. And life is not worth living without dignity and pride. Woo! Woo! And by the way, there is a songbook. It is waiting to be republished. It was published in Australia, the Let's Get Together songbook. It's actually, the song is in here, Dignity and Pride. Come on, sing it with me. Bring me to Detroit. Let's sing together. Let's record it, or it can even be recorded online. Some people have the technology even to mix voices online. But bring me to Detroit. Let's do this. Let's record. We can raise money, but we can, more than that, we can raise our spirits. Show people that our lives are worth living, and we live with dignity and pride.
This is Casey. Elaine, thank you so much. I definitely would need the songbook to sing along, so I will definitely ping me when it's published or available over here. Probably
I
is.
can send it to you on email. It's a ragged copy, but it's been scanned. I can send you the whole thing.
This is
You can
Casey.
print it out yourselves.
Honestly, I think we need it. Yes, so we
Of
can
course
post
we
the lyrics
do.
and sing along.
We need this. What you did tonight was amazing. I loved it. It's just the musical aspect of it is good too. And if you put it all together, throw in a little theater, woohoo! It's like, this is what will keep us alive. This will what will keep us growing.
This is Casey. I can't say it any better than that, so I'm going to leave it there and say thank you to everyone who is here and in this space for being here. Yeah, and for being you and for digging into what disability pride means and scratching the surface and starting some digestion process that will follow us forever. With that, thank you all for coming. Again, we're going to stop the recording and you are all free to go. Send love on your way out if you'd like. We'd love to see you.